where every word opens a new world. Welcome to the portal of stories.
There are places that don't appear on official maps, yet live on in the urban memory of cities. Spaces where time doesn't move forward in a straight line, but echoes, over and over, sinking deeper with each repetition. Residencial Morelos is one of those places. Hidden in the heart of Mexico City's historic center, this building doesn't wait to be found. It calls to those who were never looking. Behind its doors lies a reality that defies logic, floors that shouldn't exist, and keys that only appear when the story chooses to be told again. This is the account documented by Clara Valdez, a young woman who, by crossing the forbidden threshold, didn't just defy her fate. She became the keeper of echoes left behind by those who were silenced.
In the historic center of Mexico City, where ancient stones whisper imperial voices and bells ring over indigenous ruins, stood a building long forgotten by progress, Residencial Morelos. Its facade blended skillfully among shuttered workshops, rusted hardware stores, and balconies that creaked in the wind. It was located between República de El Salvador Street and the elongated shadow of the San Felipe Neri La Profesa temple. During the day it seemed desolate, soulless. But at night, it seemed to be waiting. The building, constructed in 1932 by modernist architect Julián Dávila, who would end up disgraced and forgotten, had once been home to politicians, artists, and doctors from post-revolutionary Mexico. Today, only the forgotten lived there, those who were unaware that some floors were never meant to be crossed. Clara Valdez arrived on a Monday morning, just as the first rays of sun began to light the stained glass of the Church of Santo Domingo. Young and enthusiastic, she carried more books than clothes in her backpack. She had just secured an internship at the Museum of Mexican Medicine, only 6 blocks from the building. She chose to live in Residencial Morelos for 2 reasons: its absurdly low rent and its history shrouded in mystery. This building withstood the 1957 earthquake without showing a single crack, her professor had told her. But there are things that survived inside that were never classified. The building's caretaker, a curt and tactless woman named Doña Rame, handed her the key without looking her in the eye. If something bothers you, don't look at it. And if you hear strange things, wear earplugs, she murmured, handing her the key to apartment 12 on the 2nd floor. On the way to the apartment, Clara noticed something strange in the elevator. The buttons marked the floors as 10, 11, 12, and 14. 13 was missing. The administrator explained it was due to superstition and urban planning. But the stairs told a different story. 11, 12, 13, 14, Clara whispered, counting the landings. The 13th floor was real. No one just wanted to admit it. The apartment was small but charming, high ceilings, original molding, and a wrought iron balcony overlooking a quiet street where vendors passed, organ grinders played, and a woman sold prayers for 5 pesos. That very night, while unpacking, she pushed the bed against the wall and noticed a loose floorboard. She lifted it, revealing a hidden cavity in the floor. Inside, she found an old iron key. Its handle was precisely engraved with the number 13. The moment she touched it, a faint electric jolt ran through her body, as if something deep within had awakened. At 12:13, the lights began to flicker. The noise of the city disappeared completely. Only a distant ticking, like that of a clock buried beneath the floor, broke the silence. Driven by a force she couldn't explain, Clara stepped into the hallway. At the end of the corridor, the elevator stood open, as if it were waiting for her. She entered. She pressed nothing. The doors closed on their own, and the elevator descended by its own will. The panel lights flickered until they showed a number that didn't exist. 13. The elevator stopped. The doors opened. Before her stretched a hallway she had never seen. A faded red velvet carpet covered the floor. Gas sconces remained unlit, and the air grew dense, thick like mist. Each step was a struggle against something unseen. At the end stood a solitary door, its bronze plaque blackened and worn, but clearly marked with the number 13, hand-carved. The key, now in her hand, trembled. She inserted it, and time stopped. The apartment's interior was from another era. An out-of-tune piano still held sheet music from 1935. Though the curtains were drawn, dust floated in the air as if someone had just walked through. Above the fireplace, an antique clock displayed the hour, 13:13. At the center of the room, covered with a white sheet, stood a mirror that breathed. It exhaled softly. "What are you doing here?" The voice came from the darkness. A man in a gray suit sat in a wingback chair. It was Julian Davila. His presence was such that no introduction was needed. Clara recognized him from a photograph she had seen in the museum's archives. "I didn't know," she began. "Everyone who walks through that door says the same thing," he replied. "Always the same phrase." His voice was calm, but heavy with memory. He told her about the building. During construction, a stone was found beneath the foundations, inscribed with pre-Hispanic symbols. They didn't respect it. They moved it, sealed it within the concrete. That was their mistake. "Since then, the 13th floor no longer belongs to this world," Julian said. "It is a threshold between the echo and the scream." He told her of women who vanished in 1957, of a poet who threw himself from the balcony, whose shadow is said to still mark the sidewalk every Friday the 13th, of a child who draws on the walls with chalk, but is never seen. The mirror began to glow. Clara, without thinking, stepped closer, but her reflection was gone. Instead, she saw images, fragments of trapped lives, faces without eyes, mouthless voices, and in one corner, her own figure, staring back at her from the inside. "What's happening to me?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Time here is not a line," Julian said. "It is a spiral, and you have been chosen to listen, to remember." Clara turned toward the door, but it was gone. Only a cold, unyielding wall remained. Don Felipe, the neighbor in apartment 14, noticed her absence the next day. He knocked on her door repeatedly. No answer. Worried, he went to speak to Doña Reme. "What about the girl from apartment 12? She frowned. "What girl?" They searched the building's records. Nothing. Clara Valdez didn't exist. No lease, no signature, no record of entry. That night, with a chill running down his spine, Don Felipe climbed the stairs. As if guided by something unseen, he reached the floor that officially did not exist. In front of door 13 on the floor, he found a photograph. Clara and Julian, sitting together in the chair, their faces blurred, their eyes lost, and beside the door, a new key. Every Friday the 13th, if someone stops in front of residential Morelos and watches closely, they may see a single window light up briefly at 1313. If someone climbs the stairs, they might hear a soft knock behind a door with no number. Don't open it. Time knows how to wait. Time knows how to. And the story's still untold? Do too.
Thank you for listening. The journey has just begun. Until next time.